2:19 a.m., November 21st, 1970. 23 miles from Hanoi, the most heavily defended airspace on Earth, an American helicopter is deliberately crash-landing inside the walls of a prison. Not crashing, crash-landing. On purpose. Because the courtyard is too small to land any other way. 14 Green Berets walk out of the wreck. They have rehearsed this exact moment 170 times. It is, to this day, one of the most flawlessly executed raids in American history. And the prison was empty. By 1970, more than 400 American prisoners of war were rotting in North Vietnamese camps, starved, tortured, some held in total isolation for years. Their government could see them in spy photographs and couldn't touch them. Then analysts studying surveillance imagery spotted something at a small compound called Son Tay. Signals laid out by the prisoners themselves. Intelligence estimated 61 Americans inside. Someone finally said the unthinkable. Go get them. The mission fell to two men, Air Force Brigadier General Leroy Manor and Army Colonel Arthur Bull Simons, a man Special Forces soldiers talked about like a myth. At Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, the same field where Doolittle's raiders trained to bomb Tokyo, they built a full-scale replica of the camp. And every single day, they tore it down before Soviet satellites passed overhead and rebuilt it after dark. The CIA built a perfect tabletop model of the prison. They codenamed it Barbara. 56 Green Berets were selected from 500 volunteers. For months, they drilled, live fire at night, until the assault ran on pure muscle memory. 170 rehearsals for 27 minutes of combat. In November, President Nixon gave the order. Night of November 20th, 116 aircraft launch from 7 bases and 3 aircraft carriers. Over Haiphong Harbor, the Navy stages a massive fake attack, and North Vietnam's air defenses turn east. The real strike slips in from the west, helicopters so low they're hiding in the radar shadow of the mountains. 2:19 a.m. The lead helicopter, call sign Banana 1, chops its rotors into the trees and drops inside the prison walls. Exactly as planned. Exactly as rehearsed. Captain Dick Meadows steps out of the wreckage, raises a bullhorn and says, "We're Americans. Keep your heads down. We're here to get you out." 400 meters away, something has already gone wrong. A helicopter carrying Bull Simons's element has landed at the wrong compound. A site marked on the maps as a secondary school. It is not a school. It's full of soldiers, too tall to be North Vietnamese, in uniforms nobody can place. In 5 minutes of point-blank fighting, Simon's men kill more than 100 of them. Then they reboard, relocate, and rejoin the raid. That navigation error may have saved the entire mission. Inside the camp, the assault teams blow the doors and sweep every cell block. And over the radio comes the one report nobody rehearsed. Negative items. The cells are empty. Every block, every room. 36 surface-to-air missiles are ripping into the sky, and there is no one to rescue. 27 minutes after Banana 1 hit the courtyard, every raider was gone. Total American casualties. 1 gunshot wound, 1 broken ankle. Nobody left behind. The prisoners had been moved 4 months earlier. In July, the wells at Son Tay flooded. The North Vietnamese quietly relocated all 65 prisoners to a camp 15 miles closer to Hanoi. American intelligence had been photographing an empty prison for months and never confirmed it. The headlines called it a fiasco, an intelligence failure. Washington wanted someone to blame. But inside North Vietnam's prisons, something strange was happening. The raid terrified Hanoi. If Americans could land inside a prison 23 miles from the capital, no camp was safe. So they shut down the remote camps and packed every prisoner into Hoa Lo, the Hanoi Hilton. And by doing that, they accidentally destroyed their own best weapon: isolation. Men who had spent years alone suddenly had cellmates. Letters got through. Treatment improved. The prisoners organized, communicated, held church services in defiance of their guards. And at a camp called Faith, 15 miles from Son Tay, American prisoners saw the flares on the horizon. 56 men flew into the most defended airspace on Earth for 61 prisoners who weren't there, and changed the war for the 400 who were. If this story deserves to be remembered, subscribe. And to Warrior Missions.